Russiagate. That was my assignment. I showed you my artificial intelligence painting a few weeks back. The commission was basically this. I was to pick 3 topics and do paintings on them. And then I would scan the paintings, send them to the startup, and they would pay me, and I get to keep the paintings. Yay, I still get my paintings. So I chose Russiagate, and this is my Russiagate painting. I'm actually going to put this on the screen because, as I learned from last time, I am trash at holding things up. That's why I could never work on The Price is Right. I just don't have the skill. And it's a very big painting, and it just doesn't work. I believe it is 18 by 24 acrylic on canvas. We see Shirley Temple. We see the Russian bear. What does that signify? Russiagate, as we know it right now, is about the Russian government interfering with U.S. elections, which I'm sure they did. No one's even doubting whether or not they did this. They're just saying we did it legally. And we put the mechanisms in place where they could do it legally, and our tech billionaires just gobbled up all their ad dollars. What actually happened in Russiagate? A bunch of computer nerds made memes and pages, and the United States society is so unstable that almost tore us apart and continues to tear us apart. And you know what? Americans are doing it too. So toward the beginning of Russiagate, there was speculation that actual votes were changed. Turns out no votes were changed. This was a tactical ad buy, but no votes were actually changed. Really, when you see the way that they did it, it's kind of masterful because they didn't even spend that much money. They just manipulated the system we put in place so that Americans can manipulate other Americans. And did we stop and think? Did we make it easy for other countries to manipulate us? No. We just looked at that money. Money, 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 money. It's all they care about. When I thought of Russiagate, I didn't think it was this grand conspiracy, this dastardly affair. I just thought, that's Russia being Russia, toying with us like we toy with them. Not cool, but it seems to me they were playing the game as the game is designed to be played. Who designed this game? This is not a good game for us. I feel that they would have liked this painting more if I had shown Trump and Putin just kissing, kiss, 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 kiss. But that's not what I saw Russiagate to be. What I saw it to be was these internet billionaires, these tech billionaires who are using their platforms to make money at the expense of the fabric of our society. And for what? A few more dollars? You're really going to sabotage your whole society for a few more dollars? Now, of course, the tech billionaires are part of one party. And so the problem couldn't be the tech billionaires. The problem had to be the people who were buying the ad space. Well, who sold them the ad space? Look, I get it. I get that that's the game. But we have to be more responsible in designing games. We have a lot of freedom, and with this much freedom comes a lot of responsibility. And if tensions were to rise and we were to have any sort of military conflict over this, the history books will look back on this as the dumbest world war ever because it started with memes. I know World War I was pretty dumb too. You don't have to point that out, but this will be even dumber than that. Good job, America. You see from the painting that Shirley Temple is holding a big gun, and this dumb bear is behind her, just like, hey, gun. This is cool. We're on a stage. What does the gun represent? Nukes. Nukes. We have nuclear weapons. I feel like sometimes we forget that we have nuclear weapons. Like we just live our lives as if there aren't numerous parties all over the world with the technology to destroy the entire planet. We just go on our day-to-day and we're on Twitter. I feel like there should be an international holiday where everybody stops and just remembers that there are nukes, that we have to act right as a species, not even just the American people, the Russian people, the Chinese people, the Indian people, that the whole species needs to act right so that we don't destroy ourselves. Isn't that more of a story? I guess it's not flashy anymore. People have forgotten about it. People are like, oh, nukes, that's old news. Now, You may accuse me of being a Russia stan. I am not necessarily a Russia stan, but I appreciate Russia and Russians. During this whole debacle, I never let it make me think any less of the Russian people because that's messed up. Also, the US and Russia kind of, historically speaking, there are a lot of parallels. The Russians freed their serfs the same year we freed our slaves. Like, they have vast amounts of land with great natural resources, and so do we. We were allies in both world wars. We sort of had this Cold War thing going from 1945 up till 1989. So basically, to summarize the Cold War, what the Cold War was that the United States got nuclear technology that we used against the Japanese to end the Second World War. And because the United States and the Soviet Union were already almost at each other's throats, the Soviet Union knew that they had to get nuclear technology as well, which they did a few years later. That turned into an arms race. That turned into the constant threat of nuclear destruction, mutually assured destruction, from the 1950s up until the fall of the Berlin Wall in '89. So that was the Cold War. Everybody was always anxious. That's why there was that microwave cooking chapter, I suspect, in the Pillsbury book. Because everybody was thinking, man, if I have to make a rack of ribs in my fallout shelter, how am I going to do it? They were asking the important questions. We never got into full-out war with Russia. We did fight a lot of proxy wars that ruined the lives of many people in countries that we can't even name over some ideology that they probably didn't care too much about. This was kind of an us problem. So that was the Cold War, and it was really a scary time in our lives. And I hope we never go back there. I hope we never have to live under this threat. I would recommend the movie Threads. It was a BBC made-for-TV movie. I know that sounds like it was a bad movie, but really it was super important because we think of a nuclear disaster that, oh, it's going to end everything. Terminator 2, everything's over. That's it, it's done. But that's not true. A lot of people are going to survive. And in the years following that nuclear disaster, the fallout will be a mess for everybody involved. That movie, Threads, put the fear of God into me. I watched it on Shudder, a horror streaming service. It is a horror movie. But really, all it did was honestly portray what life following a nuclear war would be like. Terrifying. 1982, I believe, out of the BBC. So check it out if you've got a strong stomach and you like horror. Humans don't seem to want to destroy each other. Thank God. We had a few close calls during the Cold War, and individuals stopped it. Thanks, Petrov. Very nice of you. But really, how long can we bet on individuals just acting right? I never bet on individuals acting right. I've seen way too many public freakouts to ever bet my future on an individual acting right. That's not to say Petrov didn't do a very good job. Thanks again. I saw Noam Chomsky on YouTube recently, and 2020 has aged that man. And he is screaming over Zoom that the nuclear tension is just increased so badly. He is screaming that we have to be careful about nukes. Nobody's listening, which is a shame. Noam Chomsky, if you're out there, I saw the video. Just get some rest, take a nap. You don't have to kill yourself over 2020 because 2020 is not over yet. It might kill you for you. I'm kidding. We have people that are increasing tensions with a nuclear power for the sake of ratings. Now, if there's something to it, let's make it harder for third parties to interfere in our elections. Because if Americans aren't going to stick up for America, who is? Russia? When I see what the Russians did to us in 2016, do I get mad? Not necessarily, because they never said they wouldn't do anything like that to us. That was our relationship. It kind of goes hand in hand with the rest of our relationship. I just look at it and I think, well played. Well played, Russia. You got us there. Not cool. Back to Nuke Day. What day do you think Nuke Day should be? Should it be like January 1st? We start out the year reminding ourselves that there are nukes. Maybe we replace Valentine's Day because dating is just screwed now. So let's replace Valentine's Day with Nuclear War Day, where we all sit in our basements, eat out of a tin and remind ourselves what it might be like if we were to ever go down the path of nuclear war. So that's my painting. 18 by 24 acrylic on canvas. I was pretty happy with my painting and I still have it. Subscribe!